Good day and welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2015 finals. Before we head into those finals, which will be played by Litarbot by Marian Diveka, and of course our good friend Ximp by Thomas Weider, we have got one more thing to show you, and that is a veritable man versus machine match. For the AIIDE tournament played by the University of Alberta in Canada, we invited Russian Gosu Gem 5 to play one of our best bots. Now we have a player called Scorpion, and the bot is Litarbot by Martin Rojakers from the Netherlands. Martin, who won last year's Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2014, has now volunteered to play Mr. Scorpion, and Scorpion is playing as Protoss, and this is the first game. So without further ado, I'm just going to cast this in normal speed, but Litarbot used to be known for its rushes, proxy barracks, marine rushes, bunker rushes, and even a marine and SCV train rush. And Scorpion I do not know. I know he plays Brute War because he has sent me this replay, but I don't... I've never seen him before. I've only met him a couple of days ago. But Scorpion, thank you very much for submitting these replays, and it should be stressed that Scorpion is not really one of the old school European Gosus or the new school European Gosus. He is more, well, could I politely describe him as an average player. I think he's about D minus level. So that will be an interesting matchup, because as you, if you watch the webcomic XKCD, there is that comic about which games are going to be figured out by computers in which order, and as we all know, human players can no longer beat chess computers, and at the end of the spectrum is Kelvin Ball. If you don't know that, please look it up, it is hilarious. But the author of that webcomic, Randall, figured that StarCraft Brood War would be figured out about, well, about a couple of years ago, and it didn't really happen because the best players from Europe can smack down the best bots we've got with one hand, or with one hand, well, not really with one hand, but with remarkable ease. And Litarbot is one of the better bots we've got, and now we've matched him up with a D minus player, or D plus. What's better? I think D plus. D plus. D plus is worse than D minus. I've been a bit rusty. I never played Brute War myself, and now this probe is attacking this barracks, and the SCVs are being sent out to repair it, but I don't really know what's going on. This appears to be some kind of a 2-gate goon push with the gas, and there is enough gas for range. Yep, there we go, range and a goon and another gateway. So by the time, oh, this is really a nice build, because by the time we've got 50 gas again, we've got the other gate ready almost. And with, oh, this is nicely timed. So this is some kind of it's waiting for the pilot. It's almost very well timed 2-gate goon push build, and Terran is going for 1 barracks, 1 factory, a couple of marines, and it's going to be a 1 versus 1 base play, and that is, the first blood will be drawn by our human player Scorpion. And there goes the SCV, and nope, you're not going to win that. Meanwhile, more goons coming, range is about to finish up, and we've got more marines coming up, another, I know that's an academy, and the factory. What will we see? A machine shop. And this is the probe. I do think that if you are going to play a 2-gate pressure build, you should pressure, but that may be a matter of perspective. Now the goons move out, but we've got 5 marines already, and oh, that will be interesting to see. Another barracks coming, quite a bit of minerals and gas stacked up, but siege mode about just started. And will this tank, I can only imagine it being a tank. Yep, there goes the tank. If it will be enough to hold off these goons, which by now will almost have range. And nothing more coming out of Protoss except goons, and could do with another, oh, it's not really D minus. Okay, it's going for a Nexus. So goon aggression into fast expand, and now with the Marines, And there goes no. Oh, and that is a really nice position, but because you can't really attack up this this ramp if there are so many Marines and a tank, and siege mode will be done shortly. And when will it be done? It's done now. Another tank coming and more Marines with the stim. So stim Marines with the tank versus a fast expand Protoss with a little bit of activity goons coming up. And in the meanwhile we've got a pylon and 2 more pylons, so I don't know why you need that many pylons, because I don't think Terran's going to be aggressive anytime soon, not with 2 tanks and... Okay, this is going to be interesting. Boom, yep, there you go. Get out of here, get out of my base. So this matchup is not as volatile. Again, remember that Scorpion is a human player, who can do more than one thing, and appears now to be going for Citadel. Might be planning to do some Dark Templar tactics or perhaps some storm drops. Meanwhile, Litarbot has quite evolved from his earlier Russian tactics and is going for a command center and a lot of Marines. I don't know, I don't really... A lot of Marines, a couple of tanks and a command center, and that may be a very clever build, because if you add a couple of medics you need a lot of firepower from Protoss to be able to stem that. And although we've got quite a bit of gateways, we've only got 36 supply and 42 for Terran, and now with another factory, this may be a very aggressive timing push, I don't really know. Will we see some medics? Because I did see stim being researched from this academy, but with a couple of medics and stim and a couple of tanks, these few dragoons aren't going to cut it by a long... Oh, and that is Protoss attacking so hard, this is outrageous. Going for a Robofag, for a Citadel and leg speed, and not building any units. I think that is asking for trouble. You've only got 41 supply and most of that is in probes. And here comes Terran. Now under cover of this Marine and tank push, taking another base. Meanwhile we've got another factory coming up, we've got an eBay coming up, we've got... Okay, and here come the medics. So as soon as these medics hit, or reach the troops, we've got 5 goons, from which one is a little bit shaken, and 4 tanks. And where are these medics going? Okay, we've got a sore finger on an SCV here, so that requires the retreat of all the medics. That is not really logical, but again, here come the zealots. So now Protoss is into army production mode, but I don't know if... Hello, Forge, Templar Archives and a Robofag. And only 4 gateways doing absolutely nothing. I don't really... well, there is a brute war AI tradition, which is that it is easier to manage 1 base than 2, because you need a lot less decision making, and there have been quite a number of successful Marine and tank pushes with medic support, so that can be the case here as well. Meanwhile, 3rd base being taken, hello, on only 61 supply for Protoss, and that is +1 weapons, but how... What are you doing? Why would you need another I don't know, I can't... I think that our human player is underestimating our good AI a little bit, because with the weapons, with the stim, with the medics and tanks, and we've got more barracks coming up, because Litarbot always likes Marines, more SCVs coming up. We've got 74 supply versus 63, and yep, you may have 3 bases with neatly arranged pylons and cannons, but this is going to pack a bit of a punch if it moves out. Then again, it may not, and this Protoss player may have the day of his life, I don't really know. What are you doing? I can't imagine a world in which this would be a valid strategy. I really can't. 4 gateways doing absolutely nothing. 1k gas. This is going to be a Templar heavy play. No storm observatory. What are you doing? Weapons, armor, and oh, here come... Oh, that's a nice bit of E-hand timing. Here come Protoss with the tanks and with the bio, with the stim, with the weapons upgrade. Have they got +1? No, they have not got +1 yet, but it will. They will have soon. And meanwhile, we've got a hell of a lot of barracks producing after this, and we've got a oh god, this has got 90 supply against 75, and now will now the gate will be pumping, but there are only 4. And soon to be 6, but by the time there will be 6, the army will be overrun. Oh god. No! Boom! There you go. Not a single tank. Oh, well, one got hit one time by a zealot. One tank will be cut off, and now the Bile will mob at everything that the tanks haven't cut to pieces with their long arc-light cannons, and that was the human player leaving the game. So that is the GG. Didn't see it coming, and lost to our bot. So that is one of our better bots, Litarbot by Martin Royakkers from the Netherlands, against Scorpion. Well, say is not really a ranked player, but got some idea of what he's doing, and the question is now, can he do better than previous game? Again, we've got Scorpion as the orange Protoss in the top right. At the top left we've got as a brown Terran, we've got Litarbot, and I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because SCV production as such is not very interesting, to me at least. And what we saw previous game was this Protoss player underestimating our AI by a hell of a lot and got pushed out of the way by a brilliant 2-base bio and tank push. So not a 1-base push after all, but a very solid 2-base push. And what will we see now? No, too late. A little bit of harassment, but nothing really getting done. Again, we see the 2-gate ranged build with the pylon a little bit. No, again it's too late, that's a pity. And now with the Goon, and now this time the Goon will walk over sooner. What will we have in the Terran base? We've got oh, that's a nice wall off. Litarbot, well done, with a gate function, so you can lift this barracks and have a controllable entrance. 4 Marines to 1 Goon, and the 1 Goon is not really doing anything. The 2 Goons here are killing off this 1 SCV, and I think we are going to see an expansion again here. Yep, there we go. Oh no, there we won't go because it's misplaced. And hopefully this Protoss will this time not underestimate Litarbot. Litarbot appears to be going for the same thing. It's going for stim, it's going for siege mode, and not a lot of units. But this time we've got 3 Goons and no tanks yet, and no medics. Oh, and now they retreat, so yeah, now they are shutting it down. So all the Marines now exiting the barracks will be killed. And you should now be focusing on killing off buildings. And that is some good timing on that tank. That is very good. So Litarbot holding on. We've got a lot of kills though. We've got 10 Marines killed, a couple of SCVs along with them, I think. And Protoss again stacking a lot of minerals, and I don't really know what this is for. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Nothing is really happening in the meanwhile, and we have got the finals left, the finals of the biggest Brute War AI tournament in the world. And this this man versus machine match is only a small prelude to that. We got 3 Dragoons with a lot of kills, we've got 2 tanks with a lot of Marines, and again the same appears to be the same build with tanks, Marines, and we should be seeing a command center, so there it is. Now, what will Protoss do different? This appears to be exactly the same. Okay, look at it. We've got more gates, and I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of tech, but not. Okay, that is a lot of tech. Well, a handful of zealots at least, and I think it's going to keep up with Terran in the supply department. Now Terran is moving out. It's going to push these 3 Dragoons from the map with the tanks, with the bio, and that is not going to work very well. Now with the medic at our service, we've got a 2-base versus 2-base situation going on. More units joining the fray, and I think that you should keep your tanks siege, because if you're not going to push, if you've got 5 tanks siege, you can take off half of the HP of. Oh, there we go. We've got the stim, we've got the range on the Goons, but we've got the tanks too, and these tanks are going to outrange these Marines. Now with the zealots in the front, only 2 medics, and these tanks are not sieged, so the trade is going to be relatively well for Protoss, especially if these tanks are going to retreat. And now the Zealots are in the tank line, and that's not good for Terran. That is not good for Terran, I can tell you, but there is a little bit of bio, and we've got a nice bit of production. So these Zealots are very low on HP and going to head back to base. Did I see? Yep, low an Archon, that's very nice. And this time the Protoss is not going to sit around teching up and not building units. It's going full 5, 7, well really 6 actually, 6 gate unit production. And Terran is going to try and push, but the army is so much smaller and it's so much more fragmented, so you should keep it closer together and wait for a critical mass, because if you attack in this slipshod fashion with small numbers of units all over the place, this concentrated air damage DPS of this Protoss army is going to cut you to pieces, and that is exactly what's happening now with the Archon, with the Zealots, and there isn't even a single beam in range or in sight. The bio is being beaten back by these Zealots. There are only 2 medics, and that's just not enough. Well, no. Protoss not committing, it's going for a 3rd base. Meanwhile, waiting for upgrades and robo facilities and High Templars. No Dark Templars yet. I'd love to see Dark Templars being put to good use, but it seems to be covered already. Now, this is going to be a 3 versus 2 base, and again, as a Protoss, you should be 1 base up. That's very good. But these engagements just are not really. I know Martin Royak, as the coder of Litarbot, the Terran, is working on a better unit micro, and he's going to need that if he's going to go toe-to-toe with human players. But in the meanwhile, these tanks are taking massive amounts of damage from Zealots, which should never happen. And what you should do with this kind of push, you should siege your tanks and just use the infantry to cover them, and then slowly push your enemy back and start doing damage to to critical structures. And I don't know why you would ever want Archons versus Biotank, but with the superior numbers, I think that Terran now at 70, 76, Protoss at 105. The medics now die, and this is not going well for our AI. 3rd base up now for Terran. Production in full swing, and the battle is being lost by Terran because there are, I don't know, a couple of tanks on the high ground would be nice, or siege tanks anyway. But now Protoss is just pushing in and doing a lot of damage, because there is not really much to take damage or to deal damage on the Terran side anymore. And now you've got Archons in your mineral line, and that's not a good thing. You've got 8 kills here. That's nice, because they get jammed up with the SCVs. SCVs have been a major part of tonight's entertainment. This Archon is pushing up the ramp, and now the comset is being taken down. We've got a High Templar coming. And will it have Storm? I don't think no, not yet. Upgrades coming, and already at 1-1. 6 gate pump. More gates? No, nothing here, but the natural has been broken. And although Terra now pushes back with the bio, it's at not nearly 80 supply, and Protoss already at hasn't been producing as much as it could, because all 3 bases you need more. You really need more production. I think here it's going to be built here, but in the meanwhile, it's that's silly. You should storm, really, because if you've got bio in the field, no, use storm. Oh, Holly. Well, apparently you can fight bio with Archon Zealot. I never seen it done, but apparently it's a thing, because it's happening. And the Terran has not really got a concerted plan. Okay, that's much better. Keep it tight together, hope you don't get stormed, and take all the Zealots out with marine fire. Siege a couple of tanks up in the back and try to do splash damage, but now Protoss at 100 supply, Terran at 100 holding. Very good. But the main is getting low, and that's going to be a big thing, because Protoss now has 3 bases, and although its main is getting low as well, and its natural too, That is a Reaver tech coming up, more gates coming up, and although, oh wow, Terran is pushing it back, the supplies are equal, and now with the stint Marines, will we get Storm? Oh, and that is very nice. Because Bio does not like Storm at all. Not in a million years. And again, a dreadful Storm. And now with the tanks, perhaps the Bio is enough to serve as infantry. But no. Zealots and Archons in the tank lines, that is not good. That is not good. 2 base Terran is retreating, supply-wise 15 behind now. Retreating once more. Protoss is hovering back and forth a bit. I don't know really why or how. But we've got, no, we haven't got Reavers yet. But now we've got another gateway. Could do with one more because you should keep your money low. And again, if you got 5,500 APM, you spend it, and our human player is barely touching 200, not even touching 200 at this point. But Terran is now being overwhelmed, and yep, that's a nice Storm. There's so many medics though, that's going to be an issue, because there are a lot of Templars, and well, they're pretty strong, but in the end you're going to need things, units that do damage, or storm the crap out of the Terran army, and that neither of which is happening. So Terran could still do it. Could still do with the bio and with the tanks, but the main is getting low, so this is going to be... This may... Oh, and that is... Yeah, that's how you do it. Good Storm right in the middle, most of the medics die. And now all the medics are dead. 3 tanks left. We've got a lot of stimming Marines, but they're not really doing anything. And there are no medics with the reinforcements, so these Zealots and Archons can do so much damage. Have we got Storms left? We've got 1 Storm left, I think. 1 left. Handful of Zealots, and you really need more gateways, but 4 units queued up in each, that is not good. So I think that Terran can still take it, but a 4th now being built for Protoss, and the main is getting so low for Terran, so this is going to be the absolutely last effort that it's going to be able to make. Nice siege position, you can start to shell these pylons, but you need to be so quick about it, because the production capacity of Protoss is going to be so much bigger than yours once the 4th base kicks in, your own main base kicks out. Protoss now at 87, 84 for Terran, and supplies are falling, but Protoss can still replenish, and Terran really can't. It's not really... Nice rear guard action with the tanks in the back and the Marines at the front. Nice micro. Litarbot is doing its utmost, and if you were seeing this, sometimes you really wouldn't say that it's an AI that's playing, because that rear guard action is so good. Just retreating with the bio, keeping the tanks in the back for the firepower. And here's going to... Oh, and there goes most of the bio, and a lot of damage to the tanks. And now Protoss is at 100. Terran only at 77. Here is the main is gone, the natural is mining out. Protoss still mining a little bit from his main, 4th base up now, should transfer some probes, but now pushing back the Terran, and this defensive action by Terran is really something. With the Stimp Marines, with the medics, with the tanks, that is really good. And this Archon, although it's got 13 and 14 kills, and some of the, that may be Storm kills from the High Templars that were merged, but oh, look at that. So many. No, you shouldn't do. Oh god. How. That's not how it's done. And Terran just relentlessly pressing, but Terran now at 70 supply. Protoss 113. With the extra gateways. And I don't know why we are not seeing any Reavers. More upgrades, and the Protoss are at 2-2 already. That's very good. Terran haven't got any upgrades on the mech and 1-1 on the bio. And although this pushing back and forth is really good, I can't really... Here is going to go... That is one ugly Storm. You should perhaps dodge it a little bit more, but Protoss can now resupply, and Terran can't. That's really the thing that's happening. If Terran would have taken a 3rd base or a 4th base, and if you let it come down to a macro match, because if you've got, well, not unlimited APM, but if you can throw, what have we now, 5,000 APM at the enemy, and you've got a 5 base economy, and you do everything with Marine Medic, you can do so much stuff all over the place. That is really, and even now it's threatening High Templars with a handful of Marines, but the trickling in of Marines is slowing down, and the natural is mining out. Now Protoss not even mining from its fort, the main is out. Apparently there is only so much you can do with 200 APM, and sustaining 200 APM for this long is not really easy. Generally speaking, if you are coming from an SC2 perspective, from a StarCraft 2 perspective, Brood War games tend to be a bit longer and a bit heavier on the APM, and more about tactics and strategy than the right composition and engagement. So you can... the composition of Protoss is bad by any standards. It's I've never seen it done. First it was Zealot Archon and now it's Zealot High Templar. It doesn't make sense. If you play mech or any kind of coherent human strategy against it, it's not going to work at all. But with this economic disparity, yep, there we go. No, nothing here. Now Terran is being pushed back into the natural. The human player Scorpion is going for the kill, and although these Marines are doing tremendous amounts of damage with these two medics only and the SCVs are dying, and this is the last bit of income that Litarbot has. This is really a colossal fight, so if you want to take anything away from the state of development of Brood War AI, I should think that this is it. Because we are not about to touch the best players, we're not about even to touch the best European players. Korean aces will slam anything AI down with a vengeance, but for the average player, these AIs are so much better than Blizzard AIs. And they don't use cheats, they don't have extra minerals or resources, they can play the game as good as the average human player at this moment. And that is really something. That is, I think, what you should take away from this game, that the best AIs at this moment are about equal to the average human Brood War player. And that is, we've come a long way. We started about 5-6 years ago when someone had an idea, and that someone is Adam Heinerman. Adam Heinerman, the author, the creator of Brood War API, so the API that lets code interact with Brood War the game. He was going to do a dual cast with me, and I would really have loved that because I have so many questions to ask him, not only for you, for my audience, but also for myself. I just wanted to know how you are going to do this. Oh, what was he thinking? But we've been at it for 5 or 6 years, and now our best bots are on par with the average human player, and that is really something. Dave Churchill, the director of the AIIDE tournament, asked the best coders, well, what do you think, how long will we need before the best bots can beat the best human players? And the answers ranged in the 5 to 20, 25 year range, because it's such a complex game. I'll try and tell a little bit more about that in another video, but for now, this were the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2015 finals. We had a human versus machine match. Scorpion, thank you very much. Litarbot by Martin Royackers, very well played. This has been one of the best human versus AI matches that I have casted yet. Not only because the AI played well and the human didn't play quite so well, but this is the state of the game. Our best bots against the average human player. Thank you very much. And now we've got only one more thing to do, and that is cast the glorious finals. So we'll be back relatively soon.